Hi, my name is Brennan. I'm 26. I live in Washington, D.C., and it's come to my attention that some of y'all don't know who Troye Sivan is. You've only just now found out about him from the Sweat Tour. Well, that's just great, because I'm so excited to tell you about him. Because I've been a fan of him since he was a YouTuber.
Hey guys, it's Troye Sivan 18.
It all started a little while ago when I read John Green's The Fault in Our Stars.
That really hurt.
So we are done with our tattoos.
1 million! Guys, I'm not okay right now.
That it was not going to be that easy. I'm going to be playing God for one final time.
Yeah! I think I am writing in the Capitol building right now.
Hello! I'm announcing my album in like 15 minutes.
The Bloom Tour is now on sale.
It's about flowers. Here I am, 2020.
Okay, Vogue, wish me luck.
I'm an Australian YouTube twink turned indie pop star and model turned HBO actor Troye Sivan being played by an American actor who can't do an Australian accent. Bye, diva.
Welcome to the Troye Sivan Retrospective by me, Brennan Beckwith, your favorite parasocial baddie since 2010. I'm wearing the TRXYE sweater to prove that I'm a real Troye Sivan fan, but I do have a tattoo sleeve. I need y'all to know. Born Troye Sivan Mellet, Sivan is his middle name, in Johannesburg, South Africa on June 5th, 1995. He's a Gemini. He moved to Perth, Australia when he was 2, which is where I think he identifies from being from. And I think he has a house there. I think he might also have a house in LA. I actually don't know where his houses are. I was born in Mississippi and then I moved when I was 2 years old. So like, we're literally the same people. Troye Sivan kind of always wanted to be a famous pop star.
Ever since I was a little kid, I have had literally one single dream. I didn't ever want to be a fireman. I never wanted to be a vet. I never wanted to be a superhero. I wanted to be a singer. I wanted to be like Michael Jackson.
He's living his dream. Let's round of applause to Troye Sivan for living his dream. In 2006, 2007, and 2008, at like 10, 11, and 12 years old, he was on Channel 7 Perth Telethon singing his little heart out.
Well, our next act, this young man is currently starring as Oliver at the Regal Theatre. He sang last year on Telethon here with Guy Sebastian. Our favourite in the crowd today, he'd like to perform a song that was written for St. Jude's Hospital for Children in America. It has a very special meaning to all the sick children out there. Please give a big hand to Troye Mellet, and there's a hero.
In 2007, he started posting YouTube videos of just him singing and his sets from the Perth Channel 7 telethon. And he even released his first EP when he was 12 years old of covers. It was called Dare to Dream. Very cute. You can still find it on YouTube. And those YouTube videos led him to playing young Wolverine. Yeah, Troye Sivan was an X-Men. I guess the story goes that he was discovered on YouTube by the director of Wolverine, and he had him send in an audition tape, and he got it, and he played young Wolverine. Technically, he played young James Howlett? I thought Wolverine's real name was Logan. Well, if you know anything about Wolverine, you know that he lost his memory due to the adamantium procedure by Trask. Y'all don't care. Then in 2009, he starred in this movie series called Spud, which is your classic coming-of-age British boarding school hijinks, boys, pranks, puberty jokes. You're saying Spud walked so that Heartstopper could run. No, very different vibe. But Troye Sivan is gay. Spud had 3 movies. Spud, The Madness Continues, and Spud 3, Learning to Fly, which he filmed in like 2013 at the height of his YouTuber career. And in 2012, he started his official YouTube career with his introduction video.
Hi, my name is Troye.
He started hanging out with all the YouTubers, going to the VidCons and the Playlist Lives. We were shipping him with all of his friends. We were 14-year-olds on Tumblr. The word parasocial hadn't been invented yet, and we were fans of people for being people because they talked to us from their bedrooms. The YouTuber vlogger era was a real you had to be there moment in internet history, and I was there. I dare y'all to find my Troyer fanfiction. Here's a hint. It wasn't just Troyer. It was every popular YouTuber ship at the time, and they all broke up and got back together multiple times. Somebody got amnesia at some point. It was 70 chapters long. But my frontal lobe is fully developed now, and I understand that writing fanfiction about real people is a little weird. And I'm really sorry. But it was the thing at the time. And, our fan base made these people's careers. It's a complicated relationship, okay? Talk to Dan and Phil about it. In 2013, Troye Sivan posted his official coming out video.
And now on August 7th, 2013, I want you guys to know that I'm gay.
Which is one of the most famous YouTuber coming out videos, but by far not the only one and not the first. But this kind of led to an era of all celebrities being expected to come out like a YouTuber. I did make a TikTok about this. I call it the YouTuber coming out video effect. Troye Sivan's coming out video was very well received. He also released one of his first original songs, The Fault in Our Stars, which was inspired by The Fault in Our Stars by Hank Green. It was the thing at the time. In 2013, he also secretly signed to a record label, EMI Australia, and he didn't tell us until 2014 when he released his first EP, TRXYE.
TRXYE. TRXYE. I almost always spell it wrong.
And we were hyped for this EP. And the imagery for this announcement was iconic. He also released these sweaters. He called them jumpers. Everyone called them jumpers because that's the British or the Australian thing to do, I guess. And I think it was his first merch ever. And you best believe I jumped on it.
I got my TRXYE sweater. I am really excited. Oh my gosh, okay, so it's so cute and fluffy. Oh my gosh, it's so soft too. I'm so excited to wear it everywhere in the world.
The first single he released off of TRXYE was Happy Little Pill, which he would later say was inspired by his friend going on Prozac or Strattera or some SSRI reuptake inhibitor, an antidepressant. It was inspired by his friend going on an antidepressant, and it was called Happy Little Pill. I mean, you get it. The fandom would theorize this friend was Connor Franta. We theorized a lot about Troye Sivan and Connor Franta. In 2014, we also got the infamous Troyer kiss. Okay, what you need to understand is that there was two people we shipped Troye Sivan with heavy. Tyler Oakley and Connor Franta. Troyer and Tronner, respectively. Some say the Troyer and Tronner nations were at war, but I was a Troyer shipper, and I think that we lived in harmony. We just wanted what was best for our parasocial relationships. There was a few silly little things about shipping Troye Sivan with his friends, specifically with Troyer. Troye Sivan was 18 and Tyler Oakley was 25. Tyler Oakley was a significantly bigger YouTuber at the time. I know it's wild to think that Tyler Oakley was way more famous than Troye Sivan at first, and he kind of started promoting Troye Sivan on Tumblr and kind of just took him under his wing and taught him how to do YouTube, and they hung out a lot, and it seemed in hindsight more like a mentorship relationship, but they did play into the Troyer ship. It was very popular. Everyone knew it. They knew it, and it got lots and lots of views. They did a video called The Boyfriend Tag, and it won a Teen Choice Award.
I think you're my best friend.
No, yeah, okay.
Is that what you're gonna say?
Tyler is one of my best friends.
Okay, you're like, yeah.
Okay, can I vomit now? Can
Okay.
we stop?
Vomit in my mouth, Big Daddy.
I'm telling you, you had to be there. And then the silly thing about shipping Troye Sivan and Connor Franta was that they were actually dating at the time. Okay, they didn't tell us, we didn't know, they kept it real private, which, good on them, because I don't know what would have happened to them if they announced that relationship publicly at the time. We were feral, okay? There was no reasonable response to anything they did publicly, okay? We didn't deserve any information from them. But Tyler Oakley and Troye Sivan was still being shipped heavy, and Tyler Oakley was doing a Prizeo campaign, which for those of you that don't know, it was really popular back in 2014 for YouTubers to do Prizeo campaigns, which were like a way to raise money and offer like prizes for donations. So like Tyler Oakley did a campaign for Trevor Project, and if you donated $50, you got a t-shirt, and I I did that. You best believe I jumped on that too. And if I didn't throw away that t-shirt in some, minimalist era purge, I would be wearing it right now. One of the prizes was to meet Tyler Oakley, I think, but one of the bigger prizes, the biggest prize of all, perhaps, was in a random live stream. I think they were live streaming on TwitCam. They were live streaming, and I think one of them mentioned if they got to $500,000, they would kiss. And I think at the time, they really didn't think that they would make $500,000. I think they were at like $250K or something. But as soon as they promised they would kiss, they made that goal. And they followed through with that promise on May 4th at DigiCon. The Troye kiss really was a monumentous YouTuber, internet, Tumblr history moment, okay? You remember where you were. I remember where I was in my room on Tumblr because I was a 15-year-old YouTuber fan. And after the kiss, there was much speculation about it being fake. Real or fake was the conversation for weeks and years. And looking back at the footage with my frontal lobe fully developed, it was definitely fake. Troye definitely put his thumb on Tyler's mouth or something like that. It was not real. It just doesn't look real to me anymore. You know when you grow up and the magic dies? Anyway, Troye Sivan's EP, TRXYE, yeah, that's what we were talking about, also included the songs Fun, The Fault in Our Stars, Touch, and Gasoline. And let me just tell you, I think any one of these songs, specifically Fun and Happy Little Pill, would be perfect for the Sweat Tour, okay? I know Troye Sivan doesn't want to play any of his old music, but I have a list here, songs from Troye Sivan's old music that could be on the Sweat set list. And Happy Little Pill has a beat drop that would go crazy at the Sweat Tour. With the flashing lights, some fog, Troye Sivan rising, the blue lights, I think I see it. I see Happy Little Pill on the Sweat set list. In 2015, he would release his next EP, Wild. The imagery for this was also really beautiful. I think Troye Sivan has always really done a great job with his album art and creating a theme for his entire launches and stuff like that. He would launch Wild with a music video trilogy, and I would almost call this a short film altogether, using 3 songs from Wild, and it was called Blue Neighborhood. The Blue Neighborhood music video trilogy did walk so that Heartstopper could run. Honestly, I'd say the Blue Neighborhood music video trilogy was my gay boy awakening before I even knew I was gay or a boy. I don't know if I have time to talk in this video about the gay YouTuber fangirl to Transmask pipeline, but it exists. It's real. I'm living proof of it. Then, at the end of 2015, he would finally release his first studio album, Blue Neighborhood. This was his soft, sad gay boy era, but there are songs on this album that would fit on the Sweat set list. Bite? The Beat? Come on now. DKLA? Don't Keep Love Around? The Strobe Lights would go hard. Lost Boy? Charlie and Troye harmonizing on Lost Boy? Wild? You're driving me wild, wild, wild. Explain to me how that would not be perfect for the Sweat Tour. With Blue Neighborhood, he would go on his first tour, Troye Sivan Live, in little theaters, 300 plus venues. And if I wasn't a teenager living in the middle of nowhere, Florida at the time, I would have gone to one of these shows, and I'm sad that I didn't. So while Troye Sivan was a YouTuber, he vlogged, he hung out with all the YouTubers, he went to VidCon, Playlist Live, he did all of the YouTuber stuff. His fandom was was pretty much entirely YouTuber fans. He didn't really make a lot of videos. And I think he was always using YouTube as a jumping off point for his music. He was always focused on the music. I think this is what gave him an advantage when the golden age of YouTube vloggers was kind of dying out. YouTuber fans were moving on, growing up. I was moving on from being a YouTuber fan because I had to go to college. While other YouTubers struggled to find their niches outside of being a YouTube personality, Troye Sivan just went right into music with the Blue Neighborhood Suburbia tour in 2016. And these were bigger theaters, 1 to 3K capacities, and he was filling them. But like I said, during this era, 2016 to 2020, I had moved on from YouTubers. I was focusing on developing that frontal lobe. I went to college in an even more middle of nowhere Florida. And so I also did not attend the Blue Neighborhood / Suburbia tour. And I completely missed an entire era of Troye Sivan. His blonde era. Tronde Era, if you will. In 2018, Troye released My, which was the first single of his second studio album, Bloom. I just ordered it, okay? I didn't even have it in my collection because I didn't realize it was a whole album. It's here, I got it. It's actually the day that I was originally going to post this video, but it might be delayed because I wanted to include a vinyl unboxing in this video because I did a vinyl unboxing in my last video. Oh, look. Wow. This one's not going to be as interesting as the last vinyl I unboxed because I don't even think it's a gatefold. And I just got the basic one. Still cute, look. Look at his little face. Look at his Tronde Era. So cute. Okay, I'm gonna keep the sticker. The thing is, that I'm nervous about is, since this is an old album, it might have just been sitting in the warehouse for a long time, which is never great for a vinyl. But I did order it, directly from Capitol Records. I've never ordered directly from a, record producer label, so I'm kind of testing that out. I like to order directly from this sticker's not going to be saved, I don't think. It's not working. Anyway, I usually order directly from the artist's website or go to local record stores. But anyway, so here we go. Look. This is such a cool album. I was talking about Troye has very distinct aesthetics for his albums. For every drop he does, they everything kind of goes together really nicely, and he has it's very cool. Oh, look at the inner sleeve. I didn't think that. Wait a second. Is this a poster? I didn't think it would come with a poster. Wait. Oh my gosh. That is so funny. What a funny poster. Okay. Look. Okay, this is just a lyric sheet that can be a poster. Maybe I'll find a place to put it, but that's... Oh my goodness. Look at this. Maybe I'll put this up, because look at those pictures of him. So cute. This is what I mean by he follows an aesthetic. He chooses a color palette. He chooses a look, and he goes with it. And he's definitely, I think this was during Taylor Swift's Reputation era, so it is giving Reputation a little bit. It's just a plain black vinyl. There were some variants. There was a purple one and a white one, but they were out. It is very dusty. I'm gonna have to dust it. But I'll do that in a second. Oh, just for you, just for you, just for you. Oh, The Good Side. I forgot that The Good Side was on this album. People say that The Good Side is about Connor Franta. Troye did a Genius interview, and the timelines kind of add up a little bit. And the rest of the album, Troye Sivan says, is about his second boyfriend, Jacob Bixenman. It is a very different vibe than Blue Neighborhood, but I do think it's like the next natural progression, right? Like he's moving into his sexuality. He's definitely laying the groundwork for the kind of music that he's creating now. We could just dance to this. Touch up on my body. This album also has Dance to This featuring Ariana Grande, which is wild. To have Ariana Grande on your second studio album is so cool. And Ariana Grande just recently collaborated with Charli XCX on her new version of Brat with all of the collaborations. All your sympathy is just a knife when, just a knife when. All your sympathy is just a knife, just a knife, just a knife, just a knife. Is that how it goes? I think that's it. Here's the vinyl. Super cute. Love. Just for you, all bloom, just for you. All right, y'all need to hear me out, all right? We need to have a little chat about parasocial relationship dynamics. When you have a parasocial relationship with a real person on the internet, you kind of have to go through a parasocial breakup. And while Troye Sivan was dealing with the parasocial breakup by dyeing his hair blonde, I was dealing with it by being angry at Troye Sivan for abandoning the fandom. Listen, okay, we were so dedicated to Troye Sivan as a person, and we supported his music because we were a fan of him as a YouTuber. And so when he stopped posting YouTube videos and stopped posting on Tumblr and stopped interacting with us as much as he used to, and he kind of, you know, did the normal human thing and started focusing on his music, I felt like he abandoned us. I felt like he abandoned the fandom that made him. But now that I've processed that breakup, and as I will say throughout this video, my frontal lobe is fully developed, I realize that that was a me thing. And Troye Sivan had every right to leave a sinking ship and pursue the thing that he was pursuing the whole time and wanted to do the whole time. YouTube was just it was just a thing that happened in his career that he utilized to promote his music. And that's not to say he hated being a YouTuber. I don't think he hated being a YouTuber. I think he learned a lot from the experience. I think he met a lot of really interesting people. He made valuable friendships and connections and learned a lot about the industry, and I also think that he learned a lot about the internet. I think being a YouTuber and having a huge, crazy fan base really gave him the tools and training he needed to move gracefully into mainstream fame. And it's been really cool to kind of return to him as a fan with a very different mindset. I also think it's really cool that when I was originally a fan of him, I was a closeted trans gay little kid, and now I'm a very open, proud, transgender, transsexual, gay boy, guy, man. And rediscovering him now at a time where I am most confident in myself and my identity and my sexuality, and he is obviously most confident in himself and his identity and his body, and it's really been cathartic, you know, re-entering his fan base as a new old fan, an old new fan, old new fan. So Troye Sivan did a lot in 2018 while he was abandoning his YouTuber fan base. He performed on SNL. His song from Bloom, Strawberries and Cigarettes, was in Love, Simon. He announced his album Bloom at Taylor Swift's Reputation tour. Actually, should I say Taylor Swift announced the album Bloom, and they sang My together.
We have to tell you something. Troy's album called Bloom comes out August 31st, Los Angeles.
And he and his music was also in the documentary film Boy Erased that was nominated for a Golden Globe. 2018 was also a very important year for him because he performed on Jimmy Fallon's Tonight Show with the one, the only, Charlie XCX. Yeah, that's right. They have been collaborating. They've known each other since 2018, and their first collaboration was 1999. Yeah, that's right. I just want to go back to 1999. Yeah, that was Charlie XCX and Troye Sivan. Sweat is a tour 8 years in the making. Bloom was also the era where this photo was taken of Troye Sivan, which you may recognize as the photo used on Wikipedia's official page for the word twink. Yeah, y'all know that recent TikTok where Troye Sivan says straight people are starting to use the word twink in replacement for the F slur?
Straight people are getting way too comfortable.
It has depth. You better listen to the face of the word twink about the word twink.
That's like our word. I don't think straight people should be using that.
Moving on to 2019, where Troye Sivan and Charlie XCX perform at LA Pride's Go West Fest with their second single continuation of 1999, 2099. He also released I'm So Tired with Love, Live, So I don't know how to pronounce it. Yeah, y'all say you don't know who Troye Sivan is, but you definitely know I'm so tired of love songs, tired of love songs, tired of love songs, tired of love. Just wanna go home, wanna go home, wanna go home. Oh, it's okay. I didn't know Troye Sivan was on this song either until I was singing along to it in my car, and I looked down at my little dash screen and it said Troye Sivan, and I said, and I had a bunch of flashbacks from my Troye Sivan YouTuber days. So tired of love songs, tired of love songs, tired of love. Just wanna go home. Wanna go home, wanna go home, oh. And that brings us to 2020. Y'all know what happened that year. All of the artists were stuck at home. They were sad. Troye Sivan had just broken up with the boyfriend that inspired Bloom, Jacob Bixim, whatever. And he released his COVID-19 EP, In a Dream. I already bought Bloom for this video, so I did not buy In a Dream, but it's on my list of records I want to get because it's beautiful. This EP was actually so cool. The imagery was very experimental. I think it met the moment of the pandemic. Instead of releasing individual music videos, he released like a full short film, 30-minute situation where he just like put a bunch of all of the songs back to back, which I thought was really, really cool. And it was all very like lonely, lost, very cool use of lighting and colors. I really liked it. This was just a cool EP in general and a really cool project. And he did a lot to support COVID-19 relief efforts. He worked with freelance artists affected by COVID-19. All of his music videos for it were filmed, to be COVID-19 friendly. He also did merch for the EP, and proceeds went to the World Health Organization. And in 2021, he performed with Grubhub's virtual concert series Soundbites in raising funds for LGBT-owned restaurants affected by COVID-19. So, yeah, he was really in it. He was really doing his art. We talk about how COVID-19 was a time where artists could really just be experimental. They were just sitting at home doing nothing, so they started creating really interesting music. Like Taylor Swift did Folklore, I think, and we had Bo Burnham's Inside Out, and we had Troye Sivan's In a Dream, which I think is a very underrated EP, and I did just find out about it by doing research for this video. In 2021 and 2022, he returned to acting a little bit. He was the manager or agent for the famous girl in the HBO show called The Idol. It was okay. I think I watched just a few episodes of it, but it was, canceled because HBO and streaming services in general don't give a fuck about letting a TV show grow into its own. They just cancel that shit. Then he played played Caleb in the movie 3 Months, which was pretty good. I liked it. It's about Caleb who finds out he may have been exposed to HIV, but he doesn't find out that he has it until a 3-month waiting period. So he joins this support group that's all like waiting to hear their results, I guess, and kind of falls in love or develops a relationship with another kid, teenager from that group, and then they kind of have this, situationship because they can't do anything with each other, so they just like, spoiler alert, you actually don't find out if he has HIV in the end. I think that it's like a commentary on like life goes on whether he got it or not, which was cool. And he wrote 2 songs for the soundtrack of 3 Months, Wait and Trouble, which were very nice, soft. I liked those songs. And the art style was very distinct and cool for 3 Months. Are you picking up on a pattern here where Troye Sivan really prioritizes the aesthetics of his projects and really not only wants them to sound good, but look really cool and distinct too? And that brings us to 2023, when he dropped the Rush music video that shocked a nation with its depiction of Troye Sivan's ass. And then he released Something to Give Each Other. This is the album that brought me back to Troye Sivan. This album came out at a time where I was 2 or 3 years on testosterone. I was a year post-op top surgery. I was just coming into my own as a gay trans man, and Troye Sivan was coming into his own as a gay, hot man that did a lot of poppers. We had a lot in common. I'll show y'all this album too because I spent $100 on it. This was the most expensive album I've ever bought. It was the first vinyl I ever bought. I got it before I even got a record player because I knew that I was gonna start collecting records and I really liked the look of this one. I ordered it, I think before the album dropped. I'm not sure, or like while it was dropping, I'm not really sure, but the reason it was so expensive was because it is the special edition. It came with this signed card, and it's also on my record player. It's pink. It was the pink vinyl. It also has a lyric book that I like. It's a pretty thick lyric book. I also ordered it from the Australian website because it was sold out of the American website. So I think it was actually like $50 and then like $50 for shipping. Listen, I think I blacked out when I ordered it, okay? Something to give each other. Do, 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 do. I could do this better. Do, 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 do. Fun story about that soundbite, the do, 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 do from Got Me Started on this album. The soundbite is from that meme, do, 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 where they're like flying up into the air. Troye Sivan also references that meme in the music video for it. I think it's really great. And that is a soundbite by the Bag Raiders, and they had gotten hundreds of requests for that sample, and they never gave it to anyone because they didn't really trust anybody's project, and they knew they had a good soundbite that was already a meme. So they gave it to Troye Sivan because they are both Australian. They were both Australian musicians, and they knew that Troye Sivan would do it justice, and I think that he really did. So that's a fun story about this album, this story. Ooh, look at this page. Look. So apparently all of these photos, apparently all of these photos were taken at like a one-night stand or, some kind of stand that Troye Sivan had. That's also apparently the cover. The person who this cover is, this guy, anonymous. We don't know who he is, and we don't need to know who he is because look at how happy he makes Troye Sivan. Oh my gosh, I love this photo of Troye. This is like this is the reason I spent $100 on this album, not gonna lie. Basically, Troye Sivan says that this album is an ode to gay hookups. It's something to give each other. The something is sex. I think gay hookups are such an integral part of queer culture, whether we like it or not. And I think something to give each other is a really beautiful ode to that. My little theory is that the way that the songs are ordered actually chronicles a night out. Okay, so we have Rush. That's when you get to the club, you're bumping it, you're in the crowd, you're dancing, you feel the rush, you've done the rush, you're in it, it's a good time. And then What's the Time Where You Are is about a text that Troye got from his ex asking what's the time where you are, because they were in an international relationship. Both of Troye Sivan's boyfriends were American, so every time he talks about an international relationship, it could be about Connor Franta or about that other the other guy I don't really know. Okay, so he got the text from his ex. He's still kind of dancing, thinking about his ex now. And then that straight guy he hooked up with once walks in. He shouldn't be here. Maybe he's with his frat friends. Maybe he's alone. But Troye Sivan knows that he could be one of his girls. That's the next song, One of Your Girls, which is about hooking up with straight guys. Then the next song is In My Room, which of course he found someone, they went back to his room, or maybe they went into the back room, and that song is very much like getting busy. Then maybe he's with the person he hooked up with in his room, maybe he's back on the dance floor, but he's still got it bad for his ex. He's thinking about his ex again. Everyone on a night out thinks about their ex at least 3 or 4 times. And he's thinking, can't go back, so I gotta keep dancing, you know? And so he's back on the dance floor. He's back to doing whatever he's doing. I'm trying to make this YouTube safe. Can't go back. So he's got to move forward. He's got to keep dancing, you know, and the beat kind of picks up a little bit with Got Me Started. Yeah, he's back on the dance floor. You just got me started. Don't think I can stop it. And then we're back to bumping it. And then with Silly, we're back to thinking about our ex, but in a silly way, in a fun way, in a self-reflective way, in a self-aware way, you know, like I'm thinking about him, but I'm also on the dance floor having a good time. And then we're back to hooking up with someone, found someone new, maybe the same guy he took to the back room. Give me that honey, honey. I find love in every city, sex in every town, blah, blah, blah. He's back to it. He hooks up with someone. Honey kind of sounds also kind of like you're coming down from the high. You're, you know, moving into a little bit of a groove. And then How to Stay With You is the morning after. He's woken up, maybe he's a little hungover, he's having some coffee, and he's wondering how to stay with you. He's fantasizing about the relationship they could have had. He's rethinking the whole night and wondering what his life has come to now. And he's thinking about the guy that he was thinking about last night too. But there's someone else in his bed, and he's gonna do it all over again tonight. But I don't know, that's just how I interpreted the album. It's just a theory. A Troye Sivan theory. Brennan, are you going to talk about the Fatphobia allegations that you contributed to? Yeah, I guess. Let's cover it. So with the Troye Sivan Rush music video came a lot of attention. When I first saw it, I actually really liked it because, like I said, I was a club gay. I really related to it, but I did notice, and a lot of people noticed, there was no fat people in it. There was only thin bodies represented. There was a lot of diversity, but not body diversity. And essentially the criticism was just, if you want to represent the queer community, you've got to represent all of the queer community and have diverse body types in your music videos. Then he included fat people in the Get Me Started music video. He addresses it in this interview that I really love. This interview, I recommend watching the whole thing, and this is what he said.
I rewatched the video with that in mind, you know, having like read the critique, and I was like, oh, I get what they're saying. I do get what they're saying. You know, I think that the video, the cast actually was really diverse. I think, you know, in the edit, there could have been definitely more moments showing, you know, different bodies. Yeah, so I heard the critique and I don't know, I get it.
Yeah, it's such a tough balance between not, between protecting yourself and being like, I can't listen to negative feedback, and then also taking the notes.
Well, that's the thing. It felt like a note. Like, it didn't really feel like It didn't feel like anyone was like kind of attacking me, because I know, like, you know, I know who I am, and I know that. So it didn't like get to me in that way at all. It was more just like, oh, fair enough.
Right. Like representation when you're making an artwork is like,
yeah,
it is something you have to actually be intentional about.
Basically, he said he didn't think about it, which is funny because of course he didn't think about it. That's the point. Fat people are not thought of. Fat people are excluded by default because thin people just don't think about them. And you know what? He took accountability in all the ways that the internet expects people to take accountability. He saw it as feedback, which was really refreshing. Sometimes when an artist gets a ton of backlash, their first instinct is to like push back and defend themselves. But Troye Sivan recognized he didn't include any fat people in the video and started to include fat people in his future videos. So I thought that was really an interesting turn of events. I'm not taking my Troye Sivan Fatphobia video down though, because it has a lot of views. I feel the rush, addicted to your touch. Oh, I feel the rush. Y'all can't see my legs. The Rush music video also brought on Troye Sivan's dancing era. So previously, he didn't really dance that much. He kind of just spun around a little bit. But with the Rush music video, he wanted to have this stylistic dance, so he learned how to dance more professionally, and he does really well. I really like the dancing, and now he's included this style of dancing in all of his tours and music videos moving forward, and it's really, really cool. And he speaks very highly of dance, so that's a cool thing that he's into now. We love. I was in the middle of drinking this long house water, ranch water. It's not very good, but I forgot to mention that in 2023 he released a lifestyle brand called Su Lang Yor, which is 2 long years in Yiddish. It's candles and a perfume, and it's just a little bit pretentious and bougie for me. I don't know. The candle is $80, y'all. And then there's this tray without a bottom. You have to provide the bottom of the tray with your table, and it's $200. I get it. Troye Sivan, in his free time, is into interior design and whatever. I did like his house tour. I do like his style. Like I said, I've really been interested in his stylistic choices and all of his musical eras and stuff. But this brand is just a little too rich for my blood. But I'm sure some rich gay queen in their penthouse apartment in Manhattan is in love with their bottomless tray from Troye Sivan. That brings us to the summer of 2024. He went on a solo tour for Something to Give Each Other in Europe, and I did get tickets for that tour. I didn't know if he was going to come to America or when he was going to come to America, so I did panic buy tickets for Ireland, which, by the way, European tickets are way cheaper than American tickets. What the heck? I've never been outside of the country. I thought Ireland would be cool, but plans changed, and instead of flying to Ireland, I had to move across the country. I had to say goodbye to those tickets, but luckily, Charli XCX released her 6th studio album Brat, and alongside Troye Sivan, they announced the Sweat Tour. And I need y'all to be in the comments and tell me that I'm a good person, okay? Tell me right now that I'm a good person. I'm gonna tell you why I'm a good person, because I had 2 tickets to Sweat. Okay, I was in the queue. Some people said that, they didn't really know what Sweat Tour was going to be about. Some people thought that they just got together to try to boost sales and they couldn't do an arena tour on their own, so they had to go together. But I knew that it was going to be lit. I knew that it was going to be amazing from the jump. As soon as they announced it, I was like, they have been friends for a while. They make similar kind of music. They're both in their party girl era. So this is gonna be awesome. So I was in that queue to get tickets. I was finna be in the pit. And so the first release, I was in that queue, but I really panic when I buy tickets. It freaks me out. It's not a conducive environment for me to make smart financial decisions, okay? But I just clicked whatever was available, and I think the pit was out, so I got lower bowl, which was like, okay, at least I'm in the room. But then they released a second night, so I was like, all right, I am finna be in the pit, and I got pit. But out of the goodness of my heart and the fact that I shouldn't have spent that much money, I put my second ticket up for sale, or my first ticket up for sale. And you know what I did? I'm not a reseller. I'm not a scalper. I don't need your money, okay? I just put it for $250, which would make the money back that I spent on it and also cover the fees. I can't bring myself to rant about Ticketmaster in this video, but it wasn't selling. It wasn't selling at first. I put it up for sale before the tour even started, but then the tour started. And it was awesome. I knew it would be awesome, but now everyone else knew that it was awesome and is awesome. Amazing performance, amazing production value, lots of strobe lights. Like, if you are epileptic in any way, or have any risk factors for epilepsy, you might want to bring a pair of solar eclipse glasses for this one. But other than that, oh my gosh, amazing cinematography. So people say the camera work is amazing. The stage is super innovative because there's like a clear part of the stage where Charlie or Troye can walk on top, or Charlie and Troye can also walk on the bottom, and they like communicate with each other, and then it's all like really, really amazing. And then they have this like fun little moment where a member of the audience or someone that they picked beforehand gets to do the apple dance, and it's really, really amazing. A beautiful ode to both of their music. And I decided out of the goodness of my heart to keep the price at its original price, even though after everyone was freaking out about the Sweat Tour, I went and looked at how much the other tickets were going for. Mine was the cheapest in the section by far, maybe by like $200 or $300. Everybody else was charging like $500+ in my section. Okay, I should have just taken it off. Because at this point it was not selling, and I had already booked my flight. And you know what? I was actually getting excited about being able to go to the Sweat Tour twice. I should have just taken down the listing, but I'm a procrastinator, and when I was looking at it, I didn't even think about taking it down, and it sold. Of course it sold. It was the cheapest ticket in that section, okay? And so now I'm gonna be in a hotel room 5 feet away from the show, and I'm not gonna be able to go. So you're welcome. So whoever got my ticket for sale price, you are welcome. Someone call Pope Francis of the Catholic Church, because I am a saint. And since you know I'm going to the Sweat Tour now, let me tell you what I'm going to do with this vintage TRXYE sweater. I'm not going to wear the sweater. And it's called Sweat Tour for a reason. I don't think a sweater, or as Troye Sivan would call it, a jumper, is going to be good for that environment. But I want to let the world know that I am an OG fan of Troye Sivan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the sleeves. Maybe I'll hem it, or whatever it's called, to sew the sleeves shut, and then maybe I'll cut them to be like this. I don't know. Maybe I'll wear some fishnets under it, or I don't know. And then I'm gonna bedazzle this. I'm gonna bedazzle it, and yeah. So that brings us to the end of my Troye Sivan retrospective. I hope you learned something today. I am really enjoying making YouTube videos like this. It's kind of flight of thought. It's a little ADHD. It's a little, all over the place, but I get to tell you about a musician that I love. Let me know who I should do in the comments, and say something in the comments to help me in that algorithm, and like the video, and check out my TikTok. I make a TikTok every day. I go live a lot, and yeah. With nothing left to say about Troye Sivan, I guess I'll see you next week. Bye!